Hey guys, I'm back with another One Piece chapter reviews. This is One Piece chapter 17, high level, low level. You ready? But wait, hold up. Y'all doing okay? We have to hurry up and get into this because you know it's a Zoro chapter and he's about to fight for his life. Or does he? But I'm super excited. Hey, make sure you like, comment, and share. So please let me know, what's your favorite part about this set? Yes. Put down below which one is your favorite One Piece pirate so far. If you already caught up and you're just starting from the beginning with me, pick somebody from there that you already know. If not, pick who looks cool in this wall, okay? And then out of the three characters we know, Zoro, Luffy, and Nami, who do you like so far? Oh, I guess we met Buggy up there. Right? Isn't that crazy? Divine. All right, man. I really don't have much to say. I'm not going to go into no long drawn story. Let's just get into this chapter because I'm ready to see who's going to win. But before we get into the chapter, let's talk about the cover page, right? So, last thing, real quick. Tell me, how do you like the set? I probably said that before. I think I did, but I really want to know. I worked so hard on this set. Took me over a month to get both parts in, and I really invested in it. I think it's amazing. We have the Straw Hat Pirates flag, of course, 90s, X-Men, little Avengers, so I really like it. So, hey, sound below. And who do you think is going to win? Zoro or Kabaji, the acrobat? Yeah, I learned his name. All right, let's go. So, the cover page, Oda loves drawing these little cover pages. I'm starting to really like them. Because they're kind of quirky. Let's talk about the first one for chapter 17, high level, low level. So you see the Straw Hat Pirates with Luffy, Zoro, and Nami. It looks like they're at Iceland. Yeah, not Iceland. I shouldn't say Iceland, but Iceland. You know, you get the pun, double entendre. And you have if I can draw it out in my head, there's a glacier and then there's stairs. And then on these stairs, Zoro and Nami are on the staircase, and on top, kind of looking out, are three penguins, right? And these three penguins, first of all, this is a cover page with the Straw Hat Pirates and penguins. So use your imagination. So they're somewhere, in the middle of nowhere with, it looks like ice caps, but in the background there's a forest. So One Piece is a little wonky, especially when we get into the new world where the beach is not really a beach, but it's a ice beach. And then the back is kind of like a forest. But anyway, on top of this glacier, you have three penguins. And these penguins, to start off, are Zoro penguins. And how do you know? They all have do-rags, and they're holding each one of his swords. And with his favorite one he got from, is it Yukina? The girl that committed suicide, or imaginary, got pushed by an imaginary person or fell down the stairs and died. Kuina, yes. And Zoro dreams to be the greatest swordsman. And him and Kuina made that bet to be the best. But Kuina suffered from a tragic falling down the stairs. I don't know if they wanted to cover up and talk about what it is. But also, Kuina was saying that she could not be the world greatest swordsman because she's a woman. And being caught up now to with One Piece, for sure, because we have a character like Big Mom, who's one of my top 5 characters in One Piece, or top 3, I would say that characters in One Piece. She's a woman, and if you add in hockey, observation hockey, or even the devil fruit, if she's a traditional swordswoman or swordsman, she probably wouldn't want to use devil fruit, and probably or maybe do a devil fruit sword. But if she really focused on her hockey, gained conquerors hockey, and ornament hockey, she could have been really strong. So I wish maybe she might come up later, 1,000 chapters from now. Anyway, you have the three penguins. Each of them are holding one of Zoro's swords. And then you have Zoro just, sitting on the staircase, laughing, right? Just laughing. Underneath him, you have Nami just sitting down like this and just looking at this penguin that walked up to her. And he looks like a navigator penguin because he has kind of like a beanie on and like some goggles, kind of like Digimon. You know, like the leader of every Digimon franchise has the goggles, right? So it looks like that. And he actually has a waist. Oh no, he has a little T-shirt, kind of like Nami. So Nami is has a crop top T-shirt with, you know, like a stripe on it, and he actually has a muscle T-shirt with a stripe on it. So you can tell that's Nami's penguin. I love the details. Okay. And he looks like a navigator, like I said, with the glasses. And then there's one more penguin in the very far left that's just kind of like looking out like this. He has little black brown glasses. Is this a foreshadowing for it? No one has glasses on the Straw Pirates, but hey, he's like the lookout, right? It's a little penguin that's like, you know, looking. And then you also have, well, this penguin looking out might be who I'm about to talk about, is the Captain Penguin's first mate. Because I realized he has the same glasses as the glasses of the penguins that are on top of the glacier holding all three of Zoro's swords. They also have the specs. So they're like, I'm cool. So they're all looking out. Okay, cool. And then you have Luffy and another penguin dancing and doing like, you know, the dance, like, yay, you know. And let me describe him. So he has his vest on. He has like a penguin Jolly Roger, okay? And also he has like a pirate's hat, a classic one, a headband. I mean, he looks like a traditional pirate. I really love the design details. He has like a vest with the penguin Jolly Roger and kind of like a corset loop right here panel, which I think is really dope. And he has kind of like a drape, like a cloak underneath it, like a hoodie cloak, right? Sleeveless hoodie cloak. So we have the sleeveless hoodie cloak, and then we have the vest over it, and then Luffy is dancing. So the vest can be kind of looked at as a vest version. Well, it's a vest version of Luffy's vest that he has on, yeah. Which I kind of see that more as a V-neck button now, but you get it. All right, let's move on. Enough about that. So we open up the chapter with Kabaji the acrobat and Zoro at a standoff. So they're just looking at each other. And, you know, and the tumbleweed comes by. And then as Zoro's blades are down, he also is in three sword style. He has a blade in his mouth. You see blood dripping from his sword to his left. I can't tell which sword that is, but I think that's one of his two no-name swords, and the one that's named for Kuina is in his mouth, which is, I can tell by the hilt. And it's white. Yep. Because the two swords that he's holding have a black guard. Well, not the guard, but the grip is black. And the white one is white handle, which is in his mouth, which is very sentimental to him, right? So they're sitting there, blood is dripping on, because remember last chapter, he ripped another gash into the already damaged gash he had when he got stabbed by Buggy. And to boast more or show like, you know, hey, if you're gonna do all these tricks, I'm gonna give you a handicap, you know? He did that. Yeah, you know? All right. So then you have Nami and Luffy cheering him on. Well, you know, Luffy's excited. He likes the fighting. So he's like, go Zoro. And Nami's like, oh my God, I'm about to faint, you know? And then Zoro and now Kabaji are looking at each other. And Zoro says, I can't lose, not even once, to anyone who calls himself a swordsman. Reference to Kabaji. Kabaji is a swordsman of the Buggy Pirates crew. Then you have a Kabaji. So you injure yourself as an insurance for your reputation. Well, don't worry. Your wounds are severe. They'll make an excellent excuse when you lose. And then here comes Zoro. He's getting his battle stance. And the blood is just dripping all over the place. Jesus, all over his leg, his bandage. It's really gruesome. Wow. And then Zoro says, it's the other way around. If I lose to the likes of you when my wounds are only this light, then I may as well give up my dream right now. And then Kabaji says, the acrobat, you scurvy dog. And then all you see is Buggy. Buggy is stressed out over there. He's like looking at Kabaji like, please beat this man. But at this point in time, you know, Buggy's feeling himself, like, because he feels very strong, right? And so we have a single page picture of just Luffy, and it's just blank. The whole page is blank, and Luffy is just looking out like, oh my god, Zoro's so cool. Like he's what's it called? Not dreamland. Having daydreams. That's crazy. He's daydreaming, looking at Zoro. And then here comes Nami tapping on him, and Nami's like, hey, look, the shack behind the rooms of the tavern, that's where they keep the treasure. And Buggy's probably got the map of the Grand Line. I'll get the treasure and make my escape. I've got to do it now while they're all knocked out. Then you see a picture of all the Buggy Pirate crew, because of course, Luffy, Gum Gum Balloon, the Buggy Ball straight into the base of operations. And, you know, they're all laid out in the rubble. But behind the rubble, there's like a little tavern or a little shack. That's where the treasure is at. And so, you know, because for a small point of seconds, Nami was there, you know, hanging out with Buggy, trying to get the lowdown when she tied up Luffy and then brought him in, and then he got stuck into a cage, and then Zoro got stabbed trying to save him. So that's what happened. And Nami continues to talk and says, whether you guys win or lose this battle, I don't really care. And here it goes. Luffy has a very good way of, like, when he wants someone on his crew, he'll figure out what they need or what they want or what's their dream to get them on. So, and he'll get that or complete that mission like you're playing like Final Fantasy or like, you know, a mission on an RPG or JRPG, and, you know, I acquired a new character, or here comes Luigi, here comes Jigglypuff. You you beat the versus battle 50 times with Zelda, and now you have Link. You know what I mean? Super Smash, you know what I mean? So, but if you do get the map from Buggy, then, and only then, will I consider teaming up with you again. Dun dun dun. Will this come back up, or will she really join the crew? We'll see. And Nami hits it. Good luck, boys. See ya. Because she was already grossed out at the beginning of the chapter, looking at Zoro and all the blood. She was like, look, I need to focus on the money. And I ain't mad at Nami, okay? Then Kabaji starts charging. I don't know where he got this tricycle from, because the last page he didn't have the tricycle. Then he just got back on top of the tricycle because he loves that. He loves fighting on the tricycle with his swords. And he holds his arm right here, right? And he spins 3 ladles or little spinning tops on it. Okay? We'll call them spinning tops right here. And as he's charging at him like this, right? Charging. And Buggy's like, he got him. He got him. And then he launches him. It kind of references, well, this came before that, but remember when the third Hokage threw a shuriken, and he did like shadow clone shuriken jutsu, and it was a whole bunch of them? That's how these spinning tops look. So these spinning tops are like, as he's the tricycle, you know, where the sword went. But anyway, in his mouth, because he took it out of his mouth a couple of tries ago. So maybe he could just put it in and withdraw it. Wow, that's crazy. So anyway, he sprays all these spinning tops and launches his attack. The dance of 100 Kamikaze Tops. Where is he keeping them? One piece. Okay? Maybe he keeps them all inside and they grow. Whatever. Anyway, and here comes Zoro. Looking at him. Focusing, locking in, right? And here the tops get close to him. And then as Zoro is about to react to the spinning tops, at the same token, he jets over to a building and runs into the building with his tricycle and starts going up, and calls that circus trick a hike in the mountains. So the first one, the dance of 100 Kamikaze Tops, being launched at Zoro to attack him, right? Probably moving as fast as bullets. And then he goes up the wall, and that attack is called a hike in the mountains. Okay, cool. He loves it's not a one-word attack. It's always a sentence, you know. blazing the marijuana in Hollywood. Playing my banjo in Louisiana. He's very much storm. Lightnings and thunder, hear my cry. Let this guy see what he should buy. You know. Whirlwind, wind of storm. You need a hair do. So let it storm. You know, it's always a stunt, you know? And so then Zoro, okay, so Zoro's like hitting him, right? These bullets are coming in, these kamikaze tops, these spinning tops are hitting. So it's ding, 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 ding. And he's like panting because he's bleeding out, of course. So he's damaged. And while that happened, he looks up and Kabaji is all the way up top, right? About to launch, of course. We know he's doing that, all right? And it says he does another trick. Circus trick. Fireworks in the cool summer breeze. What? Hold on. Back up. What is fireworks in the... Okay, I'm confused. All right, let's go panel by panel and back it up. So, Kabaji throws the spinning tops and call it the dance of 100 kamikaze tops. Zoro looks at him. They start to approach him. He goes up a building, a hike in the mountains. He then jumps so high, baby, up a few stories and calls that fireworks in the cool summer breeze. So maybe scaling up the wall is a hike in the mountains, and then him actually jumping fireworks in the cool summer breeze. And I got confused because I just thought the running and the jumping the same thing. But hey, we love a man. That's detail. And so, like I said, Zoro blocks everything with his swords, clocks him up there. He's now in the air. And then Luffy's like, wow, he's way up there. And Zoro's like panting, like, all right. And then here comes this final attack Kabaji announces. Sting of the unicycle. If you're announcing all these attacks before it happened, people can actually like block them if they've seen it before, right? Like, you know, you're fighting, you're ting, 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 ting. Sting of the unicycle. Oh, he's up there. Okay, let me get ready. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're announcing, but I guess we do like that from Sailor Moon. I love announce the attack, but like, yeah, hey, announce your attacks. I like that. Okay. Maybe say it quietly. Anyway, I guess maybe announce attack at the point when it happens, kind of like in Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm going to do the attack, and as attack, you're getting hit by it. I will announce the attack, and there'll be a freeze frame title card. But to announce it prematurely, I can dodge the attack. Do you feel me where I'm going? Okay, anyway. So as he's coming down straight onto Zoro with his Sting of the Unicycle attack, Buggy goes... Psh, and Buggy jumps in, right? We hate someone that jumps. And he uses his attack, low flying chop chop cannon. Boom. Which launches his hand and it's low flying. So it's kind of like a seeker, right? A heat seeker missile, like in the water, to grab his legs and hold him down. Now, Buggy, maybe Zoro wouldn't have saw it. Maybe Zoro would have saw it. I don't know, but you announced the attack and Zoro looked. And then he's like, Kabaji, I'll hold Zoro down. You finish him off. And then Kabaji's like, with pleasure. And Zoro's like, damn, damn, damn. Of course, Luffy comes, stomps the hand. Buggy's yelling like, God dang it, my hand. Ah! You know? And then Zoro looks at Luffy, smiles. And Luffy's like, keep your mitts out of Zoro's duel. So, you have, you know, Buggy now panting because his hand hurts. Luffy stomped the hell out that hand. And, you know, Zoro puts his head down, locks in. It's kind of like shadow over his eyes. So he's really, really, you know, taking it serious. And he's like, yeah, thanks, Luffy. And then, of course, Kabaji, I mean, he must have been coming down for like 10 minutes because now he's yelling mid-strike, I don't need the captain to lend me a hand to kill you. Here comes Zoro, sidesteps to the side. And then he's like, yeah. I didn't get him, but he's tired because of the blood loss. And then Zoro's like, I've had enough. I'm tired. And Kabaji's like, yeah. He starts monologuing. Remember, I tell you, don't monologue too early. You're tired. What's wrong? Anemic? So you've finally given up. Well, I'm not surprised. It's amazing you can still stand in your condition. And here comes Zoro. And then Zoro oh shoot. While he's monologuing, Zoro kicks the tricycle while he's on it. And so Kabaji comes flying in. So while he's like, oh my God, like, oh, you should have never challenged me. He's looking the sky. Zoro quickly zooms over, speed blitz him, and kicks the tricycle. He falls on the tricycle. And he's like, wait, what happened? And then Zoro's looking at him. You've got it wrong. What I'm tired of are your stupid circus tricks. And he's like, very well, no more tricks. I'll finish you now with my real swordsmanship. He draws his swords. He started charging in. And Luffy looks at Zoro like, because Zoro's slowly going into his stance. And Buggy's like stressed out because as Kabaji's about to, he's talking about to slice Zoro, Zoro slowly gets in his stance. He says, Oni. And he slices through Kabaji. Gary! That's one of his final attacks where he takes one of his swords like this. And it's kind of like that. And he has a sword in his mouth. Yeah. And then he slices. You'll see 3 slices on him, right? And so all his blood goes gushing all around. And Buggy's panicking, Kabaji! And Luffy's like, yeah. And Kabaji is like all cut up. And Zoro's like, finishes like this. Yeah. And then Kabaji's thinking, how could these common thieves have beaten us? We're the Buggy Pirate gang, the scourge of the seas. How could things have gone this far? He falls to the ground, all bloody. Zoro finished, put his swords all in one hand. And then Zoro goes, we're not common thieves. Pulls do-rags off, falls to the ground. We're pirates. In front of Luffy. While Kabaji's in front of him, bleeding out. And then Zoro's like, Luffy, I'm going to sleep now. I'll take it from here. All right? And then Buggy's like, you guys call yourselves pirates? And Luffy's like, that's right. Now, hand over the map of the Grand Line. And so Buggy goes and says, so that's what you're after. Well, a couple of lily-livered, no-name pirates like you won't last a day on the Grand Line. What do you plan to do there? Go sightseeing? Of course, Luffy needs this. Remember, if he gets the map of the Grand Line, of course he wants to be king of the pirates, but he needs a navigator. In order to get his navigator, he needs a map of the Grand Line. So, tomato, 2 missions in one, bonus experience point, time 2. And then Luffy's just like, well, I need the map of the Grand Line. I'm going to be king of the pirates. And Buggy's like, don't be a fool. If you're king of the pirates, then what am I, god of the pirates? The world's treasure will be mine, so forget it. Luffy comes, draw his hand back like this. And he's ready to fight. He's like, all right, hurry up, attack me, I'm getting bored. And then Buggy's like, pulls his knives out. He got his knives in each knuckle. And tells him, you'll soon regret your words, rubber boy. And then here comes Buggy. You and your straw hat remind me of him when he was younger. That insolent dog with the red hair. Talking about Shanks. And then Luffy's getting mad because, boy, if you talk about Shanks, he's ready to fight. And that is the end of chapter 17. Now we have finished chapter 17. We have finished volume 2. We'll be stepping to volume 3. And stay tuned. I want to read a quote from Oda. And if you're an artist out here, I think this will probably resonate. And I'm definitely going to take this advice as I proceed to become a mangaka one day, or indoor game designer, right? But let's listen, or you listen, I'll read to you. There's something I'd like to do if I had a whole year off. I'd like to do a serious study of different drawing techniques and materials. Then I bet drawing would become even more fun. Whoever said it's a small world? Eiichiro Oda, 1998. Hey. When you're studying one, it's kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Even though you're a waterbender, earthbender, airbender, or firebender, if you learn all the stances from all the other disciplines, you'll be better at, let's say for waterbenders, ice, maybe they'll have gas, fog, pull water out the air, blood bending, fire with the lightning, earth with the sand and lava, metal, air with flying and different things like that. So basically saying transfer skills and learn everything in your discipline from all cultures. Because the world ain't that big. We all can be connected through one thing. So, thank you so much for watching this video for One Piece reviews. I'll be putting these out weekly, and I'm so excited. Make sure you comment so far what's your favorite Straw Hat Pirate, or you can put Moji or Kabaji if you kind of like them, or out of these four right here with the Nami, Luffy, or Zoro, or even Buggy. Just tell me who you like so far. Tell me what you like about the set, and how do you like the setup and the new ambiance of the channel. Hey, this is Dr. Alchemist M.F.A. And always remember, keep analoging, and I'm out. See you later, bro.